My name is Niall Heston. I'm recording this video way early than it's supposed to be due, but that's because I'm about to go on a 2-week vacation to Mexico. And I guess I could have used beautiful Rocky Point as my backdrop for this video, but I guess you guys are stuck with a boring wall right behind me, so I apologize there. But anyways, guys, so I'm kind of from all over the place. I grew up in the Midwest. I was born in Iowa, lived in Minnesota for most of my childhood, even moved over to Cleveland, Ohio for a year before settling down the last 7 years in Mesa, Arizona, which is just located outside of Phoenix. And I know I do attend Northern State, but it's kind of weird to think that Northern State's all the way up here in South Dakota and I'm all the way down here in Arizona. Let's just say it was a long drive both there and back from the school year. So, not looking forward to doing that again in about a month and a half. I'm looking forward to going back, but not doing the 23, 24 hours in the car. And I'll have to do it by myself, which is even less ideal. But, anyways, yeah, so I'm at Northern State. This is my senior year here at Northern. An interesting fact about myself is that I play on the Northern State baseball team. I went to a previous school in California for 2 years at a community college, got all my prereqs and things like that. And so last year was my first year at Northern, and I absolutely loved it. Looking forward to my final season of competing at the collegiate level. So for me, I'm getting a secondary education primarily focused on history education. I was kind of back and forth between doing history and phys ed, something like that, but history is my favorite subject, and I felt like I'd get more out of it teaching history than phys ed. But one of my main driving forces for wanting to become a teacher is I also want to be a baseball coach. As I mentioned, I play on the Northern State baseball team, and coaching at the high school level is ideal, which leads me to my next point, which is my preferred teaching area, and that's going to be high school. A secondary education, I'll be able to teach both middle school and high school, but I really would love to teach at the high school level. I don't have a preference from ninth to 12th grade. I really don't. Whatever's open, maybe a mixture of both or all four, something like that. But ideally, at the high school level, it's going to be where I'd love to teach. Location wise, I do think I want to end up back in the Midwest. I think I would ideally like to end up in Minnesota, Arizona, especially during the summer. I know we're not teaching during the summer unless you're teaching summer classes. It is really hot. It's 117 degrees or something like that outside today. So there's a reason I'm recording this video inside. But Arizona's too hot for me. The only reason why I'm still here, especially in the summer, is because my parents reside here. But there's a lot of teaching opportunities in Arizona. Not to throw Arizona under the bus, but geographically, it's one of the worst education states in the United States. And so there's a lot of openings in Arizona for teachers. It seems like they're always hiring them. But ideally, I'd like to settle down in the Midwest because I am a Midwest boy at heart. And Minnesota, primarily outside of Minneapolis, where I grew up, is ideally where I'd want to be. But as far as, a general question about assessments, for me, it's just kind of questioning if it's a one size fit all as far as what I should assess my kids with, the content that I should be assessing them with, as well as how do I assess them, through tests, projects, presentations, etc. I think a combination of everything, especially early on in my career, is going to be the best strategy because I'll see what students like and I'll get great feedback, both positive and negative, and that can kind of foreshadow or outlay the rest of my teaching plans and teaching habits. So the biggest question I have with the assessment, as I mentioned, is figuring out kind of what's the best assessments to do and figuring out things like that. So anyways, guys, I know it's a little bit long, kind of get on tangent. I like to talk a lot, but I hope you guys, are nice to know me, nice to meet me, and I'm excited to meet you guys as well.